Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, yeah, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. Um, we have not, we have not had a good week, right? Sorry about that. There's an echo. Let's take care of that right quick. So, it's just been I would say an eventful week. To say the least, it's been an eventful week. Oh, you know what? Tonight's question. Yes, no. There you go. Tonight's question. Did you invest in yourself today? That's the only question that we ask on Fridays. So we've got a lot going on. It was an eventful week. Where we'll save most of that stuff. Whoa, I probably sounded really far away because my microphone was all the way over there. Sorry about that, Rick Ritchie. Thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. Rick Ritchie, just for you, dude. I love seeing you when we're on the big bagger call and certain people come to visit. Your whole face like kind of brightens up. I miss that. Just letting you know, just putting that out there for you. Because I haven't seen you in a minute. But yeah, it's been a wildly eventful week. A wildly eventful week. And there are a few risks that and there are a few risks that we've come to realize, right? Aloha 8 pause. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for letting us know you invested in yourself. Hutanic, thank you for letting us know that you invested in yourself. Yeah, man, I'm not talking about the negative today, man. I'm not talking about the negative today. Because although my bags might have deflated a bit, the opportunities rose a bit. Silver lining, silver lining. I tend not to look at things, unless they're truly, truly bad, I tend not to look at things as a negative. I tend to look at them as a distinct positive, right? A lot of people probably figure out or ask themselves, why do I focus on infrastructure so much? We're in a very volatile market. We're in a volatile world because we live on a tiny blue marble. We are dealing with macro events, that can knock out a lot of things. And I focus on the infrastructure so that I understand the increase or decrease in chances of the market that I'm interested in. Digital assets, right? I'm highly interested in digital assets. So it's important to me to be able to say that they're going to be here. And every time I see a massive infrastructure move, it gives me the opportunity to say, gonna be here. Oh, they spent a few hundred million on that. Gonna be here. Oh, they're doing a few billion on that. Oh, gonna be here. Oh, they're integrating it with their systems so that they can increase capacity, increase speed. Gonna be here. See what I mean? It decreases my number that I have associated with risk, right? Every event carries a certain risk, and that gives you a number if you apply numbers properly, and then you can actually start to figure out, hey, here's my number. That's what I mean. My little brother was in a... Dude, So how come you didn't tell us? We would have done some kind of announcement for that, man. I hope he's doing better. I really do hope he's doing better, but we should have done an announcement for that, right? Open up a little fund or something like that. You gotta let us know about these things, man. You gotta let us know about these things. I hope he's doing better. I really do hope he's doing better. I hope the family is holding up. I really do hope the family is holding up. So that's not good news. Kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Puts things in perspective. One of my friend's kids got a motorcycle, and he knows I used to ride. So when I saw him, I said, keep the shiny side up. That means don't crash. Try your hardest not to crash. Sadly, there are two kinds of motorcycle riders: those that have been down and those that are about to go down. So, hopefully he's doing better too. I know he is doing better, so that's a good thing. But yeah, if there's an announcement that we need to make, please reach out to me. And as long as it's not something crazy, but something like that, we should have made an announcement. That's I'm not going to continue this conversation, but as a guy who rides, I can feel that. Hasn't happened to me, but ask any rider and they can feel that. Because that's nothing but solid muscle. So man, I hope he's doing well. I hope he's doing better. I really do. I've been down more than a couple of times. I know what that's like. But actually getting hit by a deer while on a motorcycle? Yeah, no. Thank God I've never felt that. I've been shot a couple of times, but it's not the same. But I can relate, like I said, as a person who rides, I can the description, I can feel that. I'm looking for perspective to make decisions. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm glad you love this channel. And channel really loves you. You're a good dude. So Friday Night Flips, for all those that are new, just showing up, Friday Night Flips is, oh man, you're so happy that this is a family show, man. Did I have something to say about that? Anyway, Friday Flips is a different kind of night. Friday Flips is a night where we might discuss some news, but we also discuss various topics that you guys want to get into. So it's a good time to bring up topics. I mean, anything in the world of investing. I'm down, as long as it's not something stupid like talking about Justin Sun. Just saying. Don't like him. But yeah, everything's open. I mean, if it's affecting your bags, it has to do with investing, and it's legal. Yeah, we're pretty much down to discuss it. So I thought I'd put that out there for everybody that does not recall. Just letting you know. That's what we do on Fridays besides talk about the news. Michael Saylor, somebody was saying, Strategy is going to sell their Bitcoin. When I first heard that, I almost couldn't stop laughing. Then I read a story where Strategy stock is now valued less, or was valued less than the Bitcoin that they hold. Period of time. And I have to tell you, I thought it was hilarious. I thought at first it was a joke, right? And I mentioned this last night. I thought it was a joke, and yeah, it wasn't a joke. It really was. And now the idea that Michael Saylor is going to sell Bitcoin, the guy who survived, the company that survived, going from $69,000 all the way down to the teens. You think that company is going to sell their Bitcoin? Yeah, no. Those are people that have not done their research. Because if you do your research, you would realize that their price is not the Bitcoin price. Their price for buying Bitcoin, I think their number is way lower than that. He's not going to sell. He may leverage, use it as, equity or something like that. But, he's not going to sell it. At least not right now. You know what I mean? Not right now. He's not going to sell that right now. And people really should be paying attention to MicroStrategy. Strategy. I keep calling him MicroStrategy because I tried calling him strategy for a long time. And it's like the dumbest name ever. So Michael, if you're listening, I think it's a dumb name. I get it, but I think it's a dumb name because strategy is actually a word. So whenever you write a headline or something like that, strategy doesn't read right, doesn't register. Even though the people might know the name of the company, it doesn't really register right. So yeah. He said he would never sell his Bitcoin. That's not a thing. He'll use it to get loans and things like that, but he's not planning on selling that Bitcoin. And he's young enough that by the time he hits, old age, maybe he'll think about it. But he's not going to. And I want you to go look up who owns shares of strategy. Go look up who the investors are. You think he's going to go through all this with those investors? Just to turn around and sell? Yeah, I think not. I think they're all in the know. Everybody knows what he's willing to do, what he's not willing to do. He's not worried. He's not shook. He's like, yeah, He really does have the attitude that, we make money. As a company, we make money. Right? As a business, we make money. We're not worried about the money. We have more than enough money to sustain ourselves. Not worried about it. But we're going to keep doing this thing because the long game says if we keep doing that, the other side is going to be amazing. Amazing. So I don't see how anybody would come up with the idea that he's going to sell Bitcoin. That's some crack pipe right there. Excuse me. Bitcoin's bottom is 80K at most. Is it at 80K? Would you say it's at 80K? Is that the real number? I don't have my chart up, so I can't tell you the bands that I have down that far. But 80K falls within one of the bands that we have. So I totally get it. I can see how 80. I can kind of see how 80 grand is the floor, but it's a general floor. I tend to use the bands that we currently have on the chart that we have. I wonder if I can pull it up without breaking the connection. Let's see. Looks like we did all right. All right. So if I go for the next floor that I have is 93,434. The floor after that is 82,490. The floor after that is 77,252. Those are the floors that I have going forward. Right. We're within my pink band, which goes from 93,434 to 99,655. Excuse me, we're within that band right now. And so far it looks like the 93,430 floor is acting as a floor right now. Well, we're in that range, dude. We've been in that range. Right now it's at 94,997, but we've been, well, no, that is the low of the day. Now it's at 95, but we've been low. My floor right now is 93,434 at this stage. If we can hold that floor, we would bounce off and we would do well. I would like it to go down to 93,000 to 92.5 so I can feel the fair value gap. So we can, yeah, I don't know that I agree with that at all. That's somebody that's, that's applying stock thought process to crypto. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I respect everybody's, risk framework. But for me, I will loosely, at best, apply stock thoughts to the crypto space. Loosely, very loosely. But something like fair value gap, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I wouldn't do that. I know I called it a few weeks back. Yeah, you did. I still don't. I don't call things. I have history, and it's on my screen. I can see it. Right? Like I said, the drop from 93,434 is 82,490. That's the ultimate floor. Can we get there? Yeah, of course we can hit that. But some people are running around talking about, oh, we're going to hit 70. Yeah, I want you to show me how those numbers work out. And let me tell you something. If it hit 70, I would sell so much crap just to buy at 70. And I would make it it would last for like what? A week? If that? Goes from 70 to 80 like this. 70 to 90 like this. Yeah, I don't see that as like a thing. I've heard people say that 70 number and I'm like, what are you basing that on? You know what I mean? Like, if you got, you know what? Because I'm being an idiot. I'm sorry. So let's look at it like this. This is where we are right now. Let me put this in the middle of the screen. This is where we are right now. Right? And if you look at where we are right now, yeah, my floor is 93,434. Okay? That's where it is. We're in that green band. This line right here represents $82,490. The next drop right here is $77,252. Now, admittedly, we're closer to that 77 than we are to the 125 or 123. But I don't have to, fake the funk and come up with ideas for bands because I keep my bands. All of these bands are from way back when we first started. When this community first started, way back. Hutanic, you might remember. Rick Ritchie, you might remember. That's when we started doing these bands. So we could see where everything was. And I said, I'm going to keep these bands here in case we retrace. So we can see where we were. Right? And I have them at different colors. You can see all the way down here. Look at this. We go way, way, way back. Okay? Way back. I mean, heck, you can keep going. Look at that. We go way back down to 15,483. So you guys can see, I'm not full of it. I'm dead serious. I can see it. So when I come up with numbers, I'm not just yanking a nice round number out of my butt. That's not what I'm doing. You can actually see the numbers that I'm looking at. You can see how I'm actually doing charting over here. You can actually see this stuff. Call a bottom? No, I can't call a bottom. Call a top? No, I can't call a top. Can I tell you that my risk matrix is saying, oh, my risk framework is saying that, hey, this is going to be the one. This is where we are, blah, 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 blah. Can I run the numbers just like everybody else? Yes, I can. But we've got history here. We've got history. That's the idea. Which is why I'm saying our boy, Michael Saylor, went all the way down to the 15s. and he bought going down, and he bought going up. I don't think that guy's worried. I don't think that guy's worried at all. Not at all. If it would hit 70, the bear market would be in, because we would have broke trend, but it is very possible because we started the bull run early by a few months. Let me think about that for a second. That's a good point, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. We entered a new era. We entered a new era. In no other era compared to this one did we have so much infrastructure going on. Did we have so much building going on? Did we have so much education going on? Did we have so much adoption going on? Did we have so much infrastructure being built? Did we have so much integration? We never had even this much interoperability. We didn't have this many DEXs. We didn't have this many on-ramps. We didn't have any of that. Back in the day, wasn't it Pancake Swap and Uniswap? Wasn't it? You want to take it way back? I can take it way back, and I can tell you about how I used to, technically, I still have those accounts, but I'm not allowed to use them. We were able to have accounts around the world and play the Forex game in crypto. When we left the old cycle, the previous cycle, when we left that previous cycle, there were probably signs that told us you're not entering another cycle. You are not entering another cycle, period. There might be similarities, but you are indeed not entering another cycle. You're entering a new era. Everybody got on me because I was saying, well, last year we hit a new all-time high, and that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Why did it? Go do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. If you do that, you do some history search, you'll see why. There were signs all the way along. We just didn't recognize them as signs. And then as they went on, you started to see, wait a minute, that right there didn't look right. That right there didn't look right. That right there didn't look right. And I still saw these talking heads out there, people that don't have communities like ours, that were saying, oh, no, cycles don't always repeat themselves, but, they kind of rhyme. I always thought that was stupid. Previous cycles, you could kind of say they were cycles. This right here, yeah, not a cycle. A-pause, you're most welcome for me showing the screen. That's kind of like my job. I should always show you guys the screen. Let me hit the live chat before I flip back. After 2-year bull market, I pulled it on Veterans Day before the government opened my folks' wallet too. Yeah, I didn't pull jack. I didn't pull jack. There are plays out there. There are plays out there that have been making me money. I'm playing those plays. And the time frame is too short for me to play with. Way too short for me to play with. So I'm just like, yeah, I did the math. I will say that. Before I made that decision, I did the math, then I made my decision. How far could we go? How bad would it be? Going down to 70, if that was the worst case scenario. I looked at the chart. Would we go down to 70? And I was kind of like, I think I'll be all right. But what I did say was, I'm going to keep on with my DCA process. I also said for diversification purposes, I'm looking to buy companies. Or I'm looking to give people a way out from their company and being able to still get a piece of the pie as the company move forward. There's a ridiculous amount of companies out there that can still make money where people are just giving up their businesses, literally just closing the doors and walking away. So I'm taking this opportunity to diversify. I'm not just looking at companies, I'm also looking at real estate. People get so hyper focused on digital assets that I'm just like, why would you do that? Stocks, bonds, options, real estate, businesses. My second book tells you about how to apply the GMB3 to the stock market, to the crypto market, and to mergers and acquisitions. It shows you how to apply it in those areas. That's one of the whole ideas. So let me pull this. You guys don't need to see that. So that's, it's one of those things where I look at the opportunity and say to myself, how can I take the opportunity to diversify? How can I take the opportunity to decrease my risk across different asset types? Not to mention my core business, which is management consulting, helping businesses fix stuff, helping businesses figure it out. Small, medium, large. We go all the way from Fortune 500 to Fortune 0. So there's an idea that we have that says, if we do things right, we'll come out ahead. Do I want to pull out? And I thought about it, Hutanik. It's actually kind of funny. Do I want to pull out now? It's like we flipped, right? Because my idea was I was going to do what you did. I was going to pull everything out, wait, then get back in. My calculation is with DCA, I'll be fine because I realize that now I'm too busy. I'm not going to be able to watch the markets the way I normally would to be able to say, oh, we're kind of establishing a bottom. I'm expecting to go back up. I was able to do that with a single asset, a single bag, and it's made me money. It has absolutely made me money. It's also showed me that I should be paying into other places in that space, other assets in that space. But by far, that one has made me the most money. Just saying. I look at this stuff and I just go, yeah, we're not. It's not a cycle anymore. I'm holding for a Hail Mary. If I go down with the ship, then so be it. I don't think you're going to go down with the ship, man. That's why I only invest what I can afford to lose. Yeah, that's the way. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Here's to you. So many people do not do that. So many people do not invest what they can afford to lose. Here's the sad part, and I keep saying it. The sad part is that we're going to have to invest to survive. And sometimes that means that we might actually have to gamble what we have. I hate to say it like that, but seriously. I mean, have you looked at the price of homes versus salaries? Have you looked at the price of healthcare? Have you looked at just the price of everything? Have you looked at the global turmoil that's happening right now? The number of troops that we have in the Caribbean went from basically 0 to 6,000 to now 15,000. 15,000. For Venezuela? That's a show of force for no reason. That is absolutely one of the risks on my risk register. And while nobody was paying attention, we went from 6,000 troops to 15,000 troops in that area. With huge firepower. Huge. Already been run by stealth bombers. So when I look at macro events around the world, The peace deal that was supposed to happen between Israel and Hamas, that wasn't really a peace deal because Israel broke it. That can have an effect on us. Pay attention. That can have an effect on us. It's not that we want to have a political conversation. We don't allow that here. But we want to make note of those things that can affect our bags. And sure as heck, that can affect our bags. And obviously, everybody in the United States, we kind of know doggone well what's sending the new regime into a downward spiral. We don't have to talk about it, but that is a risk that can affect our bags. Bad decisions are made when people are in that state. When they're flailing, bad decisions can be made. When you're in a fight, are you supposed to flail your arms? No. You take a stance and you measure. That's not what's going on right now, which means that it can affect our bags. And you know how many people whose bags are being affected by, they might actually have to reapply for SNAP benefits? That again is going to affect our bags. I want you to think about who has to reapply for SNAP benefits. That's going to damage our workforce because they're going to be so focused on trying to get that little bit just to put food on the table that they're not going to be focused on their jobs, right? We're looking at companies looking to lay off more people. Verizon is coming up. That you have a lot of companies that have been laying off people. And believe me, it doesn't have anything to do with AI. People will blame AI. It has nothing to do with AI. They overhired or whatever it was. It's not AI. But AI compounds that. AI absolutely compounds that. Just saying, I have to actually harvest my Carolina Reapers. I harvested my ghost peppers yesterday. I think I have like 3 left that I have to snatch. And I've got a whole bunch of Carolina Reapers. The Scoville on those is ridiculous. Those, I can remove paint. Yeah, I'm making hot sauce. That's why. Sure. In my case, I pulled enough to last 2 years. But that's different. You had a plan. And you're saying, oh, I pulled enough to last 2 years and I left the rest. That's a plan. That's actually a plan. Love that plan, by the way. That's a plan. That's what's up. Other people, not so much. They're not doing that. They're reacting the way the market's reacting. They're not doing their own research. They don't know their entries and exits, and they're not absolutely investing deliberately. Do those 3 things. You'll be in a better place. Just saying, you'll be in a better place. Rick Ritchie, I'm with you though. If it hits 70,000, I'm not selling a thing. I will absolutely. Obviously I'll still be on camera. I will be salivating. I'll have a rag nearby to wipe my mouth. Sorry, I moved the garden inside, so I have gnats. Little, but they'll go away because I'm gonna harvest all that and I'll bring it back outside and leave it for next year. Just saying, I could actually continue growing the Carolina Reapers. That bush is strong. Like, wow. It's still flowering because I have grow lights. It's still flowering. It's like, oh no, I can keep going. No. If anything, I'm gonna grow something different. I'm probably gonna grow spinach. I know it sounds funny, but yeah, I'm trying to grow my own food. I'm trying to grow the things that I like, and people are kind of like, "What are you doing? Why am I doing that?" This food is expensive. Fresh food is very expensive. When I go to restaurants, I refuse to eat tomatoes because they taste nasty. But grow a tomato at home, I'll eat that thing like a freaking apple. They taste so good. So yeah, I pay attention to that stuff. I took money from one business to invest in another business. Yeah, you're making your moves. That's what I mean. I'm investing in businesses because I know my company can walk in the door and definitely improve on technology, definitely improve on marketing. That's thousands of dollars right there per month just for that one company. If I do nothing else, that would work. Close to cutting a deal on a business where we're just going to, I think over 2 years, we'll just pay that person the equivalent of what they're making now for 2 years. And I already know that with the adjustments that we make, I'll make more than that. Meaning I will add to the bottom line more than 100%. Ta-da! Other companies call me up and they're like, listen, I don't want to sell my company, but I'm willing to give you a piece of the pie if you can bring that over here. I'm down for that too. Told you, right now, there are so many opportunities. Just go knocking on doors. You know, you have so many people out there that they can't sell the business. I rattled it off last week. Pizzerias have in New York, pizzerias are having a hard time selling cleaners, liquor stores, delis. Every time I turn around, there's like 50 bazillion delis trying to be sold. And they can't even give it away. Just saying. And there's money in those businesses. There is money in those businesses. Bad times, good times, there's money in the business. So I'm looking for deals. I'm out there looking for deals. Right? The same way everybody else is. What else happened in the news today? Ripple is not going IPOs. Got everybody shook. Like, what the heck? Everybody expecting them to go IPO. I expecting them to go IPO. And they're like, why? They got their $40 billion or they got their $500 million off their $40 billion valuation. They're fine. They're like, yeah, we don't need to. Kraken seems to be going the same way. Like, we got our $15 billion valuation. We're fine. If we do a little bit more and show that we know how to run a bank, that we know how to run a stock trading platform, we've already demonstrated we know how to run a crypto trading platform or digital asset trading platform. Once they get that humming and bring it around the world, I'm going to tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of small exchanges fall by the wayside. Because why am I going to deal with those when the other ones are doing well? And then the other one's going to be, why would I want to deal with any of them? Why? Do my decks, right? And forget about it. If MasterCard comes along, there's your newest freaking on-ramp. MasterCard directly. You'll be able to use your MasterCard. They'll just hit your account. Boom. You want to buy crypto? Not a problem. Glad to help. Not even playing. It's insane. It's insane. Things to pay attention to. There are things out there that we can pay attention to where we could be making money. Big money. XRP is a honeypot. To me, I believe XRP is absolutely a honeypot. But I also wouldn't sleep on Stellar. There are so many coins out there that are doing so much that I would not sleep on them. I would not sleep on them. Let me see if I can. All right. So starting from the top, let me share my screen. All right. So starting from the top, what coins I tell my kids I'm interested in. My man Mike from Verizon asked me today what coins would I be interested in, so I want to answer those questions. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, if you're into that kind of thing. Solana right now at 141 for a lot of people could be a delicious price. A delicious price. Doge, I'm not buying, but I can understand the story as to why you would get into it. Cardano, I would absolutely not have a problem with getting into. Same thing for Hyperliquid, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar, Litecoin, Monero, Hedera, Avalanche, Sui. For me personally, I have a lot of SHIB. So for me, SHIB is a hold. It's not a buy, it's not a sell. I'm neutral. I'm holding on to what I have, but I'm not adding to it at the moment. But right here, do you see that it has an extra zero? It picked up another zero. Right there. When the market goes up, Shiba Inu will explode, and going up from here to like 12, 15, 16, the way it did before. It's got a long way to go before it gets to its all-time high, but just doing that would still make a lot of money. Just remember, 12, 15, 16. If it got up to 18, you're 1x. Just let that wash over you for a bit. That's why I keep telling everybody, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, because you'd be able to recognize that real fast. And you'd be able to say, well, do I believe in SHIB? I believe in SHIB, but I have other things that I want to do, so I'm not adding to that bucket right now. But I would, if somebody said, oh, I bought some SHIB, I'd be like, oh, okay. I would have nothing negative to say. This one right here, Polkadot. Now, you can look at where SHIB is right here, 56.87 underwater year to date, 56.78 for Polkadot. There are too many other places where I can make money. I like Polkadot, I really do. But there are too many other places where I can make money, so I'm not dumping my money into Polkadot. I like Toncoin, I like Uniswap, obviously, even though, again, year to date, it's down 45. Mantle, I still like. Year to date, down only 4.23. I mean, it's not so bad, but I'd be looking for it. Some people like BitTensor. I don't know it as well as other people do, but I would have no issue if somebody said, oh, I bought some. Like if one of my kids said, hey, I bought some BitTensor. I'd think, okay. I have nothing negative to say about it. Near Protocol, not touching anymore. Aave, love, even though it's at 42%, 42.47% underwater, I would still hop on Aave. BitGet token, I haven't touched it, won't touch it. For me, there's really touch it. For me, my risk framework says, why would you buy that? There are so many other things. Would I buy Aster? Yeah. Yeah. If I sell Aster right now, I'm in the black. Think about that. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm cool with Aster. Look at this. I mean, is it going to do that again? Probably not. But those are some crazy numbers. Those are some crazy numbers. Aptos, you can honestly say that it's a part of the connective tissue. A lot of projects build on Aptos. I used to own Aptos. I don't anymore. There are other things that I could buy that could make me more money, but I don't know that I'd be upset if somebody decided to buy Aptos. I would just let them know that I think it's going to be a long haul. Pepe as a meme, yeah, I'm not adding to that. I think I have a couple of bucks still left in Pepe, but I'm not adding to that. That's insanity. But am I going to dump what I have? Nah. Right? Ondo. I actually like Ondo, even though it's 56.52% underwater. I'm still a Polygon fan, but am I adding to that? Heck no. I've always had an affinity for Polygon, so I'm going to keep that affinity. I could be wrong, but I just like Polygon. I really do. I think they're an innovative team. I think they just need to get out there and start making some noise, let people know that they're not dead. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. I think the reason why Polygon has dropped so far down the list is because of when they went for certain things, Coinbase said they weren't going to back them on the move that they were going to make, and that's what brought them down. But I think that it's still an innovative team. Let's go shopping for coins. I'm just sharing with you what I'm sharing with my kids. The ideas that I share with my kids. PaxG is something that I'm in. Algorand, it's an old school coin that I still love. Do I have a big bag? No. Do I have a little bag? Yes. Will I add to that bag? No. But I still have love for Algorand. Pax G, I don't really have to talk about that. It's gold. You can figure it out. Cosmos is another one. We could say that it's part of the connective tissue. Am I buying any? No. Do I hold any? No. I literally might have $1 or $2 of Cosmos. VeChain, still love VeChain. Still have a whole lot of VeChain holding it there, because I think over time VeChain is either going to it's either going to survive and thrive, or it'll get bought, get swallowed by somebody else. I think they're going to survive and thrive. Arbitrum, yeah, I have no reason to put my finger in Arbitrum. I used to, I don't anymore. Let's see who else. Render, it's a play. Am I putting money into it right now? It would be a big chance, but at this price point right here, that's the kind of thought process I have on that. Like it's painful to think about it. I'd have to stop and think about that. SEI, I think, is going to do things. Remember, Canary Capital has something coming out for them, an ETF. Quant, I have absolutely zero interest in Quant. It's one of those ISO 222s, and I have no interest, zero. Who else? XDC, same thing, zero interest in that. And I don't care what the heck they're, look at that, 21.27% year to date down for Quant. For XDC, it's 26.15. I could care less. I have no interest in neither one of them. I think that they could have been ready to do things with institutions, but XRP never went away, and institutions seem to love XRP. Bonk, I still have a nice bag. Am I going to buy more? No. Am I going to sell right now? No, because I think it'll come back at some point. I felt the same way about Hedera. I mean, I know Hedera is not a meme coin, but I felt the same way about Hedera, and Hedera came back and has made me money. So I can hold on to Bonk and be fine. Jupiter, I have no interest in. I have zero interest in that. PancakeSwap, over the years, it's just done well. It just quietly just does its thing. Virtuals, I have a small bag, but a small bag. Am I adding? No. Am I selling? No. Will it be first on the list if it starts to make me money? Yes. 8 Paws. Oh, there you go. That's the question for somebody else. Immutable, I still like the games, but at 70%, 70.90% down, I'm not putting money into that. Same thing for Optimism, not putting money into that. Celestia, I used to hold, not putting any money into that. Lido, again, no money into that, even though I kind of like Lido, not putting any money into it. Injective could do something, but they haven't shown me that I need to make a move in that at all. Stacks, I have zero interest. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, FET, I had a lot of hope for them. Let's see, who else? Floki, I still hold a bag. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just holding my space, and that's it. That's as far as I'd go. I have no interest in anything else. I mean, I do further down, but I kind of stick to the top 100 and make choices right there. I do the numbers. I run the numbers all the time. I've got a spreadsheet that helps me run through the numbers. I use AI to help me do research. Like, we've got tools on our end that let us do things. The question prior was for you asking my opinion. I didn't see a dollar sign. Let's see. Why do you say no to Near when that's the main link to Zek? I have no interest in Near. I've lost money on Near. That's how that works for me. Somebody else might have a different idea about Near. I don't. I lost money on Near. I have no interest in going back. Zek, I haven't touched either, but I know people that have, and they've done well. I have no interest in that. Again, this is the stuff that I tell my kids. These are the interests that I have. They might have different interests. A long time ago, I had zero interest in Doge. I had zero interest in shit. And my son came along and said, you now have interest. And 8 Paws, thank you for catching that, because I wouldn't have responded. Because I was going through the list and I just wasn't paying attention. But I do respond faster to dollar signs, just like everybody else. Just saying, just putting that out there for you. But Friday I try to treat a little bit differently. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I can make enough money, and I said this when we did the big baggers. It's just myself and BD on the line. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, there's no reason in this market will I be looking for anything above 100. I want you to look at something, right? You know what? Let me see if I can pull this up without breaking the line. Okay, so there you go. Go down. You gonna hurry up and load? Like, what are we doing here? There you go. So right there, 100. Look at that market cap from 100. What's the market cap at 100? It's only a little over $500,000. I mean, $500 million. My bad. $500 million. That's a wide range. I want you to think about this. Let's put it in perspective. Here you are at $1.9 trillion. And here you are at $500 million. That's a big range. I'm not playing that meme game anymore. I think the meme game is over. Could it pick up a little bit? Sure, maybe, kind of, sort of, perhaps. But I think the meme game is over, and I'm not playing that game. I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it for that at all. I think that's a bad decision. But am I looking at the top 100? Sure. Do I keep an eye on the top 150, top 250? Excuse me. Sure. But am I investing beyond the top 100? I don't think I have anything above the top 100. I don't think I have anything above the top 100. It's not because I'm snooty. Rick Ritchie, remember back in the day, people used to be like, oh man, BD used to be like, oh man, you only care about the big stuff. You need to be down here playing with this 10X stuff, 100X stuff. Yeah, do those exist anymore? A lot of people were playing those games and lost a lot because they got left holding the bags because the bottom fell out. Meanwhile, I'm like the turtle. I'm just moving along nice and easy, nice and slow, doing what I got to do. Just saying. Brandon Allen, what's going on? Do you see Cash App expanding their platform to an actual exchange broker for crypto and stocks? Yeah. Easily. I could easily see that, man. Easily see that. Would it be a good idea? Yeah. It really would. It really would. I think they would do well. And I want you to think about the move that they're making. That's an infrastructure move geared specifically toward retail investors. There are a lot more of us than there are of them. We just don't realize that we have that kind of buying power. So yeah, I do think that Cash App could do that. Would I be interested in buying block stock? Sure. I'd have to just see what my exits would be, what my entries would be. But yeah, I think so. Block is led by a smart group of people. So I'd absolutely pay attention to that. So many people don't do their own research. That's the GMB 3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Thank you for that question. Appreciate you, man. That was a good one. Sorry it took me so long to answer it. I have to learn to like look everywhere for participation because I keep forgetting we actually do have Facebook online right now. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. I might add a couple others, but I don't know. I thought about doing it on TikTok, but you guys. My son made me get back on TikTok. He did, but do I like TikTok? No, I don't. Not at all. The amount of content that you have to produce to be good on TikTok is ridiculous, and I'm just not. I'm not going through all that. And I also think that we have enough We have enough of a community where we have enough for our own channel, our own platform, and that's what we're building. That's what we're building. We're like right there. Right now, we're just, fixing tiny little mistakes. Like when people log in, they have access to these things and not other things. We're trying not to make the Palantir mistakes. I know that was mean. Factual, but a little mean. Anyway, everybody, what about Roku? We have the code for Roku. We really do. My son wanted me to do TikTok first, and he was like, why are you worried about Roku? And I'm like, there are a lot of people that would rather sit back and watch us on Roku. And he's like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good enough space. And I said, we have a lot of people that watch the show on television on YouTube. YouTube, Roku, same thing. So, yeah, we do have the code. I think that's going to be a Q1 2026 type deal because we still have a lot of stuff that we need to do right now. But, yeah, Roku's coming. I knew you weren't going to let me forget about that. You of all people, I knew you weren't going to let me forget. Hutanic, you too? Seriously? Roku, you can't really communicate, right? It's a one-way, you're watching a show. Just saying. But it is on a bigger screen, and for a lot of people, it's an easier way to get to it. I can understand that. Roku is the bomb because it does Android and Apple. Yeah, you can actually just push it over there. You can project it over there. So, yeah. I mean, I have Roku devices. I have Roku. I have Fire TV. No, I have Roku. Fire TV is on the other stick, and this one is... I think that's a Roku TV. That one has a Roku device. I think this one is an actual Roku TV. Because I use that one as a monitor. It's a 65-inch screen. I use it as a monitor. That one I use as a television. So, You're thinking of buying what? A Roku device or a television? Or Roku TV? Or do you mean Roku as a stock? I would not buy Roku as a stock. I would not. Yeah, Roku free TV is actually pretty cool. It really, I would tell people that if I was looking at things, if I was looking for entertainment, don't sleep on the shows that are only coming out on YouTube. Roku has a free TV service, but I mean like the new shows that are coming out on YouTube. You got some good stuff. Could you DM me and teach me how to get on Roku? I actually desire to know. Our show is not on Roku yet. So yeah, that's not what we're doing. What else do we have? I think that's it. All right, everybody, this is Daddy J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community because this is the only community where we're actually, all of us, we're having a conversation. And let me tell you something. It's a real community. Do you watch and pay attention to how the community, how we speak with each other, how we deal with each other? I've got community members coming to me and saying, hey, you missed a question. Go back and get that. Because just because I'm the face, we're a community. And we get so much out of it. And so many people put so much into it. It's not even funny. It's amazing. This community is amazing. Roku device is actually worth it. A pause. It's very much worth it. It really is. Right. But anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I will absolutely fight for that every day. I'm not perfect in any definition of the word, but I do try to make sure that I deliver to you guys what I think we can use to manage our bags and make money together. Everybody have a great night. I'll be back Sunday for the Sunday Roundup, 4 p.m. on Sunday. I know it's football season. I know a lot of people are going to blow that off, but I'll be there and the recording will be made. I will be live. And for those that aren't watching football, those wives that don't care, Patient one, she'll probably watch. Just saying. But I'll be here doing the Sunday roundup. There's a lot of things that happen this week that we probably need to take a dive into as we start to look forward into next week. Everybody have a great night. Hope you enjoy your weekend if I don't hear from you. If you're not here on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then you'll see me Monday morning at 6:30 for the Crypto Daily. Everybody, thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.